Alright, old school NBA fans, self-researched, NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. In this video here, I have a very interesting concept, I believe. I've never seen anyone tackle this. I've seen people do who should really have been the MVP, who should have really been the finals MVP, if you include the loser of the finals. Seen all that stuff before. But I've never seen anybody tackle, what if the MVP was the regular season and the playoffs? How many would each of these all-time greats have? And there's one guy that really stands out with way more than anybody else. Now, I just went to the merger because these are the ones I know the best. Most of them I saw. Not to mention, it took a really, really long time to put this together. So what I did was, I got the top 5 finishers for MVP of every year. But I also included other players if it was necessary, if they had a legitimate shot at it, of the regular season and playoffs combined for an MVP. Now, you can't just weight the playoff run as the MVP. You gotta weigh it with the regular season. It's gotta be close to a 50-50 split. So let's just get right into it. 1977, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was the regular season MVP. Bill Walton finished second, Pete Maravich third, Bob Lanier fourth, Dr. J fifth. The playoff result, Kareem got beat in the Western Conference Finals 4-0 to Portland. Bill Walton won the championship. Pete Maravich didn't even make the playoffs. Bob Lanier lost in the first round in 3 to Golden State. Dr. J lost in the finals in 6 to Portland. So just off the playoff result, you could eliminate Pete Maravich and Bob Lanier right away. They were of little consequence to their teams in the playoffs. But Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, in 1977, in the playoffs, this dude averaged 34.6 points per game, 17.7 rebounds per game on 60.7% shooting from the field. Unbelievable numbers. Bill Walton finished second and won the championship. That probably would give him a leg up. However, he only played 65 games in the regular season. That's just over 3/4 of a season. In the playoffs, 18 points per game and 15.2 rebounds per game. It can't just be about the result. Obviously, that's going to be the most important thing, but also how valuable were you to your team in the playoffs? And the other player, Dr. J, who was also really good, 27.3 points, 4 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 52.3% from the field. All 3 of these guys actually have cases. Dr. J got his team to the finals. They were up 2-0, then they lost 4 in a row. Definitely has a case. Bill Walton's team won the championship. But I think guys like Lionel Hollins and Maurice Lucas, they had a lot to do with that as well. When it comes to Kareem, yeah, they got swept in the Western Conference Finals, but I just think by the sheer numbers, Kareem just had a much better regular season and then played astronomical in the playoffs. I see no reason to not give him the MVP of the regular season and the playoffs combined. So he would be retaining his MVP. Now, this is all subjective. Let me know in the comments when I'm done which one you disagree with. No problem, because I could easily be sold on any of these guys. You could say Dr. J, and I'd say, yeah, that's fine. Bill Walton, he won the championship. Hard to argue against. But I just think Kareem just had such an unbelievable season in 1977. Played great in the playoffs. They did get swept 4-0, though. That's a little disappointing. But they were the number 1 seed, and then I know Lucius Allen went down. That shouldn't have mattered that much, but I can't put the whole thing on Kareem, that's for sure. And that's why Kareem is in bold and has an asterisk next to his name, because that's who I believe should be the MVP, regular season and playoffs combined. 1978, Bill Walton won the MVP. George Gervin was second, David Thompson third, Kareem fourth, Walter Davis fifth. Bill Walton only played 2 games in the playoffs, and they got beat in the semifinals in 6 games. George Gervin's team lost in the East semifinals in 6 to Washington, the eventual champion. David Thompson's Nuggets lost in the Western Conference Finals in 6 to Seattle. Kareem's team lost in the first round in 3 to Seattle. Walter Davis' team lost in the first round 2-0 to Milwaukee. So right away, Walter Davis and Kareem, forget it. They have no stake in this. And I would also say the same about Bill Walton, because he only played 2 games in the playoffs. He can't be that valuable. So now it comes down to George Gervin and David Thompson. David Thompson and George Gervin had an interesting scoring title race that season. George Gervin won it by mere percentage points, 27.2 points per game. But David Thompson matched it essentially, like I said, just percentage points under him. He was also at 27.2 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 52% from the field. But his team in the playoffs advanced farther. They won 4 more games than the Spurs did. So for me, the 1978 MVP, regular season and playoffs combined, should go to David Thompson. 1979, Moses Malone won the MVP. George Gervin finished second. Elvin Hayes finished third. Kareem fourth. Bob Dandridge fifth. Moses' team lost in the first round 2-0, so he didn't even win a playoff game. George Gervin's team got to the East Finals, lost in 7 to Washington. Elvin Hayes lost in the finals to Seattle. Kareem got beat in the semifinals by Seattle in 5. And then Bob Dandridge, same thing, lost in the finals to Seattle in 5. I believe Moses Malone, who didn't win a single playoff game, even though he won the league MVP, knock him right out of there. I see George Gervin, who got within 1 game of reaching the finals, won the scoring title, 28.6 points per game in the playoffs. Elvin Hayes, he had a good regular season. His playoff numbers took a slight dip, 22 points, 14 rebounds, 43% from the field. Kareem's team, they only won 3 playoff games, so for me, I would knock him out of there as well. Bob Dandridge, number 5, he was on Washington as well. So I kind of think Elvin Hayes and Bob Dandridge sort of cancel each other out. And this is almost one by default. I think you got to give it to George Gervin. Although Kareem and Dandridge, they played pretty good in the playoffs. But George Gervin won the scoring title, 1 win away from reaching the finals, 28.6 points per game in the playoffs. I think George Gervin deserves the MVP, regular season and playoffs, 1979. 1980, Kareem won the MVP, Dr. J finished second, George Gervin finished third, Larry Bird fourth, and there was like 4 guys tied for 5th, so I didn't bother bringing in all these guys. They were irrelevant anyway. Kareem's Lakers won the championship. Dr. J's team lost in 6 in the finals. George Gervin's team lost in the first round. Larry Bird's team got upset in the East Finals. So you could knock George Gervin right out of there. It's a 3-player race. Now, Larry Bird's Celtics, they had the best regular season record in the NBA. He won Rookie of the Year, 21.3 points, 10.4 rebounds. Nice season. Dr. J's 76ers, they upset Boston in 5 games. He averaged 27 points, 7.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 2.2 steals, and 1.8 blocks. That's a great line. But here's my big but. Even though they upset the Celtics, and I think Dr. J should have strong consideration here, and you could make a case that he should have been the regular season plus playoff MVP, no problem. But here's the issue I have. Kareem didn't play the last game in the finals. Yes, the Lakers were up 3-2, but you were at home. Without Kareem, you had a chance to tie it up. You just had to stop Magic, which they couldn't do. Magic had maybe the best finals game ever, which I say he did. In the playoffs, Kareem went for 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks. That's a really good line. He put them right in position to win that championship. Even though he got hurt in Game 5, in Game 6, Magic did step up for him. But still, for me, if you win the regular season MVP and your team wins the championship, it's automatic. You should be the MVP of the full season, regular season and playoffs combined. So 1980, Kareem deserves the MVP. That's his second. 1981, Dr. J won the MVP. Larry Bird finished second. Kareem third. Moses Malone fourth. And George Gervin fifth. Dr. J, his team lost in 7 in the East Finals. Hard-fought, tough series. Larry Bird's team won the championship. Kareem's team got upset in the first round by Houston, so you could just knock him out. Moses Malone lost in the finals in 6 to Boston. You could really make a strong case for Moses. And number 5, Gervin, his team got beat in the West Finals in 7 to Houston. So Moses Malone, his team beat the number 3 and the number 5 guys for MVP. That was really good. But Larry Bird's team beat the MVP. And in my mind, Dr. J had a really good season. 24 points, 8 rebounds, 52% from the field. Larry Bird, 21 points, 11 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 48% from the field. Moses, 28 points, 15 rebounds, which led the NBA, 52% from the field. You could make a strong case for Moses Malone. But I just think that Boston winning the championship, beating Dr. J and the 76ers, he was the MVP of the league. Even though Houston actually had a losing record, they were red hot going in. And Moses finished 4th for MVP. So Boston beat the number 1 and the number 4 guy, Larry Bird himself, number 2. I give Larry Bird a slight edge for the MVP over Moses Malone. But if somebody said, well, Moses beat San Antonio, Kansas City, the Lakers in the playoffs, and even took Boston to 6 in the finals, it was one of the best runs ever, I don't disagree. And I would even disagree if you think Moses deserved the MVP in 1981. I just think, all things considered, I give Larry Bird a slight edge to win the MVP in 81, regular season playoffs combined. 1982, Moses Malone won the MVP, Larry Bird 2nd, Dr. J 3rd, Robert Parrish 4th, and Gus Williams 5th. This one's tricky because nobody in the top 5 won the championship. It was the Lakers. Moses Malone's Rockets got beat in the first round in 3 games. They only won 1 playoff game. Larry Bird's team lost in 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, but they were upset. Dr. J's team lost in the finals 4-2 to the Lakers. Robert Parrish, like Bird, got beaten 7 in the East Finals. And then Gus Williams on Seattle lost to the Lakers in 5 games in the semifinals. But I just think the sheer volume of Moses Malone's season, 31 points per game, led the league, 14.7 rebounds on 52% shooting, was just phenomenal. Larry Bird at number 2, but he also had his teammate Robert Parrish at number 4. So you got 2 guys in the top 4. I think they cancel each other out. Gus Williams got beat in the second round. His numbers are pretty good, but nothing special. I think it's Dr. J or Moses, and I want to lean Moses on this one. But again, you could make a case for Dr. J, no problem. But I actually think that it's almost a co-MVP situation. Malone and Dr. J both maybe have such a strong claim at it for that season. I don't know. You guys tell me. But now that I look at it again, I'm starting to think maybe Dr. J has a stronger case. I don't know. It's so close. 1983, there is no question about it. It's Moses Malone all day long. He won the championship. Bird finished 2nd, only won 2 games in the first round. Magic's team got swept by Moses in the finals. Sidney Moncrief lost in the East Finals in 5 to Moses. And then Dr. J was Moses' teammate, absolutely. But Moses' season was just so good. In the playoffs, 26 points per game, 16 rebounds. He was the finals MVP. I don't think Larry Bird, Sidney Moncrief, or Dr. J have any claim at all. Magic, maybe a slight case, but having Kareem on his team and they got swept in the finals, it's got to be Moses all day long. Strong season, strong playoff, first team all defense, finals MVP. It's Moses all day. It's not even close. 1984, Larry Bird finished number 1. Bernard King finished 2nd. Magic 3rd, Kareem 4th, Isaiah 5th. Larry Bird's team won the championship. Magic and Kareem's team lost in 7 to Boston in the finals. Isaiah Thomas's team got beat in the first round to the Knicks. Bernard King's team lost in 7 to Boston in the semifinals. I think this is an easy no-brainer. It was Larry Bird. He won the finals MVP. He had a free throw title. He averaged 24.2 points per game. It's Bird for me, no hesitation. 1985, Larry Bird, number 1. Magic number 2, Moses number 3, Kareem number 4, and Terry Cummings number 5. Larry Bird's team lost in 6 to the Lakers. Magic's team won the championship. Moses' team lost in the East Finals to Boston. Kareem's team also won the championship. Terry Cummings' team lost in the semifinals 4-0 to Philly. This one's very interesting. I think that with Magic and Kareem both having very solid seasons and playoffs, Magic probably had a better regular season. He also had over 15 assists per game in the playoffs, which is really good. But Kareem was giving you 22 points per game and was the finals MVP. Who do you give it to? For me, I think they kind of cancel each other out. When you look at the season Larry Bird had, 28.7 points, 10.5 rebounds, 6.6 assists on 52.2% shooting. And this isn't LeBron James running to the rim, 1/3 of his shots. Bird took a lot of jumpers. Now, he did play some inside. He was an excellent rebounder. But this should be another no-brainer for me. It's got to be Larry Bird. Even though they lost in the finals, Magic had Kareem. Kareem had Magic. Moses got beat in 5 by Larry Bird head-to-head. And Terry Cummings got swept. I think it's Larry Bird here. And that would be his 3rd MVP, counting the playoffs. 1986, Larry Bird. His team won the championship. He had a great season, free throw title, finals MVP, 25.8 points per game. They had the best home record of all time, regular season and playoffs, 50-1 at home. They beat number 2 Dominique Wilkins in 5 games in the semis. Magic's team got upset. That was Magic and Kareem. Olajuwon to be the only other person to have any kind of a claim here for beating the Lakers. But I would say because of the historic season that Larry Bird and the Boston Celtics had, it's got to be Larry Bird. And that's his 4th MVP, regular season playoffs combined. But that would be it. Magic Johnson, 1987. He finished 1st. Michael Jordan finished 2nd. Larry Bird 3rd. Kevin McHale 4th. Dominique Wilkins 5th. Well, Dominique's team got beat in the semifinals in 5 games. Bird had McHale, 2 of the top 4 for MVP. They kind of cancel each other out. Michael Jordan's team didn't win a single playoff game. It's got to be Magic all day long. They won 65 games in the regular season. Magic went for 24 points, 12.2 assists, finals MVP. It's a no-brainer. Magic Johnson all day long. 1988. I know I'm going to get pushback on this. I understand how historic this season was for Michael Jordan. I get it. It was unbelievable. And he didn't play bad in the playoffs. He was ridiculous in the playoffs, in the first round especially. Unbelievable. But I think ultimately because his team got beat in 5 in the semifinals, just not quite enough there. Larry Bird's team got beat in the East Finals by Detroit. Barkley didn't even make the playoffs. Drexler lost in the first round. But Magic Johnson's team won the championship and completed a back-to-back. He went for 19.6 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 12 assists per game. I think because of winning the championship and Michael Jordan's team just won the 4 playoff games, I just don't think he played enough games in the playoffs to be considered for the regular season playoffs combined MVP. But don't feel too sorry for Jordan. He's going to get his chance, you could say, later on. But I can see this video is going to run long, so I'm just going to make this part 1. So I will do part 2 tomorrow. I love this stuff. This is great. Very fascinating stuff. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. Part 2 will be tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, that would be great. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. I give daily content. And that's it. Until next time.